Did you catch one?
Come on, you got it. Mopey, hey, are you guys good friends? Hey, Mo. What is up today, guys? Today we're going to be doing a friggin' walk cycle animation in Maya. Frick yeah, let's get back into it. Animation. We're gonna break this up into two main sections. We're gonna have the setup section and then we're gonna have the production section. The first part of setup for a walk cycle is basically understanding the construction of a walk cycle. And you've got 4 poses, right? You've got a contact down, passing up, and contact. That was 5, but there's 2 contacts, so. And these are the poses that we will use to create our walk cycle. It's how we walk. So with the contact, 1 foot's in the back, 1 foot's in the front, opposite hands, and yeah, there's your contact, right? It's when the foot that is stepping forward makes contact. What? Who would have thought? So with the down pose, the forward foot is now flat, and the entire character, like center of gravity, is down a little bit because we're like coming down. If you're having trouble with the concept of down, like the character's moving downward while we're moving forward, think of it like this. A walk is just a character continuously falling, but also continuously catching themselves. So then the passing pose, the back foot is going to pass the front foot, thus creating a walk and feet, pass each other. Duh. Okay, and then the up pose, the passing foot is at its highest point, and as is the character, because we are launching ourselves off the ground so that we can then fall into the contact and down. And then we restart the whole process. It's a loop, it's a time loop. All right, so that is the understanding the walk section. Now let's jump into Maya and do the last part of our setup. It's real quick. We're going to set up our quick select buttons because that just makes any animation easier. I imagine if you've done animation, you've probably done quick select buttons before you've set them up. Select your nerves curve, whatever, whether it's for your head, your cog, your foot, your pinky, whatever. Select it, go up into create, set, quick select set, and then name it, and then add to shelf. And that just makes like selecting all of the spine easier. It's just easier, saves so much time. And that's it for the setup main category section. So let's go and move into the production section. Okay, so in production, I'm gonna walk you through the whole walk cycle. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna break the production up into 4 phases. We've got 4 phases of production when it comes down to this walk cycle. Honestly, this could just be titled like the steps of making any animation. Phase 1 of production, blocking. So for the walk, you wanna establish your beat. And I'm gonna be walking on 16s, even though in real life we walk on 12, so that's like 1 step every 12 frames, that's 2 steps every second. When it comes down to animation, it's really easy to walk on 8s or 16s because that's just a way for us to break it up real easy when we animate in 24 frames a second, because then we have frames built in that are in betweens. So that means our contact will start on 1, our down on 5, our passing on 9, our up on 13, and our next contact on 17, and then the cycle just keeps going. So like I said, you could walk on 8s, but 16, it's a bit of a slower walk, so it's not as fast as real life, and walking on 8s is 3 steps per second, and that felt a little fast for what I wanted to do right now, so 16 it is. So in phase 1, I'm focused on big picture movements. I'm not focused on like fingers or the toes flapping or whatever. No, big picture movements. Yeah, like where are the feet? Where are the feet going in the walk cycle? That's what I'm focused on right now, like placement of things. Also, really big thing for a walk cycle so that you're not having to animate multiple, like 10 steps. You just have to animate 1 step for the right foot, 1 step for the left foot. Make sure that your first and last frame, so if you're animating on 16s, that would be frame 1 and frame 33. Make sure they are in the exact same pose for every piece of your character. To do that, when I made my quick select buttons, I made one for every curve on my character. The head, the neck, all the spine, the cog, the feet, hands, whatever. I made 1 button that selects everything. And I keyed that on frame 1, and then I middle mouse dragged that and took it to frame 33 and saved that. So my first frame and my last frame are the exact same. That way I can cycle this. And overall for phase 1, the blocking phase, it's gonna look very stiff. But how you do it is extremely formulaic. Like, obviously there are parts of posing your character where it comes down to like an artistic eye and stuff, but overall, phase 1 is extremely formulaic, and pretty much anyone could set it up. But yeah, phase 1. All right, so moving on to phase 2. This phase is gonna be all about in-betweens here. So pretty much when we were blocking things, we said, okay, here's where the hand is on frame 1, here's where it is on frame 5. Well, in phase 2, the in-betweens, we're gonna go in between frame 1 and frame 5, we go to frame 3, and like, how does the hand get from here to here? Does it go up here? Does it come down here? What's the curve look like? How does the hand get from here to here? A to B kind of thing. And at this point, I'm still not really addressing like fingers or how the hand is rotating. I'm focused on where the wrist is, because then I can like do the rotation of the hand and stuff later. So I've still not like quite narrowed my vision on any one particular body part. I've still got a pretty big broad view on this overall animation. I'm not like getting too detailed yet. In the play blast at this point, it's gonna look even worse, because that's just how animation goes. It starts bad and then it gets more and more ugly until eventually it's just like something happened and it looks great. And that something is the magic of animation. Or it's dumb luck, I don't know. But anyway, at this point the play blast is looking very jagged. It's like how Miguel from Pixar's Coco thought skeletons walked. Very like all over the place, because at this point I've not gone into the graph editor, I've not done anything like that. I've simply placed the head here, and then I placed the head here, and I said the head is gonna be here too, and then the play blast animation goes something like that, you know? It's kind of all over the place. So overall, the movements of the animation are more clear, but it's kind of like our character's hyped up on bang energy. And that's phase 2. All right, so phase 3 is all about powering through. We're gonna power through this. We're gonna focus our vision on each individual piece of our character and take it from start to finish and smooth it all out. When it comes to like moving the character around, I will always start with the feet, because the feet are gonna tell me where the character's at. I'll work my way up the character that way. I'll start with the feet, go to the cog, go to the spine, because those are directing the next one. Feet direct the cog directs the spine. And then from there, you know, if I wanna keep working up, I'll go to the head and neck, or I'll go into the arms. Either way, the arms, neck, and head are not my priority to begin with. But yeah, I want to start with what's driving the character, and then focus on what's following the character, like the head and the neck and the arms, they're all following. And again, the goal of phase 3 is to smooth out our curves. So we're gonna open up the graph editor. A lot of the times, it's quite bumpy in there, you know what I mean? Especially when you open it for the first time. We're just gonna adjust these points. So at this point, it doesn't matter if our key for translate X is on a different frame than translate Y and Z. It doesn't matter, as long as the curves are smooth and the animation is nice. We are not dead set on keeping everything together anymore. When we were blocking and doing our in-betweens, yeah, I mean, like, it's nice to have full poses, but now it doesn't quite matter, as long as the curves are smooth and things look nice. So overall, this is like the longest working phase out of all of them, because like blocking can do fairly quickly, in-betweens, again, fairly quickly, a little bit longer than blocking, but the power through phase, you start with one foot and you work it from the beginning to the very end. And yeah, it takes a while to do everything. And by no means am I saying like, this is the only way to animate. No, everyone's got their own thing. This is what I like to do. I like to block, do in-betweens, and then power through. But again, everyone likes to do their own thing. And what I like about the power through thing is that I can see it come together piece by piece. Like, I can see what I've spent a lot of time on, and I can see also what I need to spend more time on. So like when the feet, the cog, the spine are all looking sweet and awesomeness, and I see the right hand over there going, I'm like, okay, I need to spend some time on that. Alrighty, so at this point in the overall animation process, I decided to render because, you know, I was liking, you know, I'm liking where I'm at, right? When it comes down to a walk cycle, I only did this for my demo reel, honestly, but I need to show off multiple sides of my walk without taking up too much time. How do you go about doing that? I thought maybe I'll spin the camera around the character, or at least 180 so that you can see multiple sides of him, but for my personal taste and how I want my demo reel to look, that's too much camera movement. I was like, there's gotta be a better way. So what I did was I opened up a new scene and imported my animation 3 times, facing forward, and then the other 2 turned at 45-degree angles, so that whoever's looking at my demo reel can see front and both the left and right sides of my character. It's all the exact same animation, and there's something I think personally a little satisfying about all 3 of them walking in complete unison. And I chose primary colors, so I mean, like, it's aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. But anyway, don't forget, we have phase 4 to still talk about. And phase 4 is peer feedback, peer review, peer critiques, and honestly, this phase may scare people. People may be like, oh my goodness, like, I'm nervous to show my work. Do not sweat it. Like, it is a little nervous to put work out there, but it's also so rewarding. I promise you, I promise you. Okay, so where do you put your work? Like, do you just post it on your Facebook page? You can, but I recommend joining Facebook groups. I'm in the Full Set Animation page group. I'm in Maya Rigging and Animation page, whatever. And I think I'm in a few more, honestly, I'm not sure. Yeah, get in some groups, get in some active groups, I must say, and then post your stuff there. Be like, hey, I'm working on this walk cycle, any helpful critiques, feedback, advice, anything you guys got that would be helpful. And the benefit of doing this is you may be overlooking a problem, whether big or small, honestly, that you've gone blind to. You can't see because you've spent so many hours on an animation that like you don't see it, which is the benefit of having multiple people look at it. You've got people who have never seen your project before, so something that's maybe not working will stand out to them, whereas it might not stand out to you. But don't worry, like if that still makes you nervous of like, oh man, they're gonna tell me what's not working. Not all feedback is bad. I'm not saying that like you're only gonna get overwhelmingly positive feedback. No, you're not. But most people, when giving feedback, will give it in a nice way. They're not gonna like bully you. They're not gonna be like, oh man, you're so friggin' dumb. They may be like, hey, you know, good progress, but maybe work on this a little bit. They could let you know also that you're going in a good direction. They're like, hey man, I'm really liking this. Keep up the good work or something like that. They also could save you from going down a bad path. That's all I'm saying. No, it's not. I'm gonna keep saying. They could save you from going down a bad path and be like, hey, I mean, like, what you're doing here, it might not be working, may help to take a few steps back, walk cycle pun, rebuild a few of your poses. I know it seems scary, but trust me, it's for everyone's best interest, honestly. You got these pieces of feedback, you got your reviews, your critiques, and what do? It's honestly up to you. You review it, and you make what corrections you think are needed. You don't have to do it, but it's in your best interest to at least consider the feedback you got, because again, you might not see a big mistake, though 30 people on Facebook may have pointed out the same thing. Make the corrections you think are best for your animation, but still consider what people have said. And then another thing, sleep on it. You make your corrections, sleep on it. You don't have to render it or anything. You don't have to make any intense decisions where you're like, okay, I got it done, now I gotta publish it. Sleep on it. Let your eyes rest, take a few hours away from your animation, come back either the next day or a few hours later or whatever, and look at it again, and then make corrections if you need them, because sometimes you will. So at this point, what do? You could either repeat step 4 and be like, hey guys, I made some corrections, let me know what you guys are thinking. Or you can render it, and then I recommend you publish it. Because if you're feeling confident in it, there's like no point in keeping it to yourself unless, you know, unless it's just like a little personal project you want to do for yourself and you don't want anyone to ever see. But like a good portion of the fun of animation is showing off what you were able to do. And like you can be scared and be like, oh man, I don't know what people are gonna think about this. I don't know. Is this even good? If you're confident in it, I encourage you to publish it. I encourage you to share your art because art's awesome, right? And like obviously what I do, you all can tell, I encourage sharing your art because that's the entire point of my channel. And yeah, I get comments saying, oh man, this is awesome, great job. And I also get comments saying, oh man, this is like the worst thing ever. You're not a good animator, you're a terrible artist and stuff like that. I get that stuff. I don't care. I like the art I've done. So if you like the art you do, I encourage you to publish it. But anyway, this is my walk cycle, guys, and I hope you got something out of this video. And if anything, I hope you had a good time watching it. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Let me know what else you guys want me to animate. So anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.